What if I told you the most shocking pick of the 2025 NBA draft wasn't a mistake, but a masterstroke? That the confusion, the memes, the sheer disbelief from every analyst was all part of a plan to steal a player another dynasty was desperately trying to trade up for. The clock was ticking. Pick number 8. The Brooklyn Nets were on the board. The war room was silent, tense. And then, that the confusion, the memes, the sheer disbelief from every analyst was all part of a plan to steal a player another dynasty was desperately trying to trade up for. The clock was ticking. Pick number 8. The Brooklyn Nets were on the board. The war room was silent, tense. And then, a name. A name that didn't just surprise the crowd at Barclays Center, it completely froze them. Egor Demin. You could hear a pin drop, then the chaos. Who? Social media exploded. The Nets drafted a Call of Duty villain. This is a fireable offense. On broadcast, the analysts scrambled, calling it a massive, massive reach. A guy mocked to go in the late teens, if at all. A 6'9" point guard from Russia, nobody had on their radar. It felt like a blunder. It looked like chaos. But here's the thing about chaos. Sometimes it's calculated. Because while the world saw a gamble, Brooklyn saw a blueprint. They weren't just looking for a player. They were looking for a prophet. A mind that could see the game 3 steps ahead of everyone else. And in Egor Demin, they found it. Let's rewind. Who is this guy? Before the draft, the scouting report was a tale of 2 players. Early in the season, Egor was a sensation for those in the know. A 6.9 maestro with a 38% three-point shot and passing vision that made scouts whisper one name, Magic. The assist rate, 99th percentile. As a point guard, his block percentage was in the 83rd percentile. Let that sink in. A playmaker who protects the rim, it was unheard of. Then, the knee injury. Not major, but enough. His three-point percentage plummeted to 23%. The momentum vanished. The hype train derailed. Teams panicked. Their boards shifted. The smooth, surgical playmaker was suddenly a question mark. The mystery man became a forgotten man. But Brooklyn's front office, they did their homework. They went back to the tape, past the rust, past the injury. They saw no mechanical flaw in the jumper. They saw rhythm. They saw a mind that was unbreakable, a calmness under pressure that you can't teach. While others saw a broken prospect, Brooklyn saw a diamond, just waiting to be polished. And they weren't the only ones. Hours before the draft, a phone call. A frantic attempt to move up the board. It came from the one front office that has a cult-like following for its genius. The Oklahoma City Thunder. Sam Presti, the architect of dynasties, the man who found KD, Westbrook, Harden, and Shea. He was on the phone trying to trade into the top 10. His target? Egor Demin. When Sam Presti wants your guy is special. Brooklyn heard the whispers. They felt the pressure. They knew their secret was out. So they did the only thing they could. They took him. At 8, ignoring the mock drafts, ignoring the public perception, they snatched their future from right under the nose of the league's most feared strategist. This wasn't a reach. This was a heist. The pick wasn't just about talent, it was about identity. In a league obsessed with highlight reel dunks and logo threes, Brooklyn bet on silence, on intelligence, on a player who doesn't scream, he computes. He doesn't force the game, he conducts it. His game isn't loud, it's lethal. They didn't just draft a player, they drafted a philosophy. Think of a hybrid of Magic Johnson's visionary passing and Franz Wagner's smooth, composed, offensive flow, all wrapped in a frame that can switch onto 4 positions defensively. He sees passing lanes that are invisible to everyone else. He doesn't wait for players to get open. He makes them open with a look, a hesitation, a pocket pass that seems to defy physics. He plays chess while everyone else is playing checkers. His Summer League comeback was the first glimpse of the truth. The knee was fine, the movement silky, the handle tight, and the passing, my goodness, the passing. It was elite. He looked like he'd never been away, like he was operating in slow motion. The shot was still finding its rhythm, but the form was pure. The confidence was back. He wasn't just playing, he was sending a message. And the message was clear. Brooklyn's mistake was about to become the league's nightmare. So, what exactly makes Egor Demin so unique? Let's break down the anatomy of a prodigy. First, the basketball IQ. It's not just high, it's surgical. He sees rotations before they happen. He anticipates the helper before the helper even knows he's helping. He has this innate understanding of court geometry of space and time that allows him to manipulate defenses like a puppeteer. He prefers the right pass over the flashy one, the simple, efficient, kill-you-softly play that leads to an easy bucket. It's Jason Kidd-level leadership with 2 more inches of height. Then, there's the defense. Imagine a point guard who can switch onto a power forward, hold his ground, and then, in the same possession, recover to block a guard's shot at the rim. His length and anticipation make pick and rolls a living hell for opponents. He doesn't just guard his man, he disrupts entire offensive schemes. And the most special thing? He is the king of pressure moments. If the game is on the line the last 2 minutes, that's the time when this guy wakes up. Pressure breaks others, but for him, it makes the game move even slower. In the final seconds, he snatches victory right out of thin air, like a magician. But let's be real. No prospect is perfect. The questions are there. Can he fully regain that pre-injury three-point shot? It's the key that unlocks his entire offensive game. Without it, defenses will sag off. With it, he's unguardable. Does he have that killer instinct, that late-game aggression to take over? Or will his unselfishness become a liability in clutch moments? And can his quiet, lead-by-example demeanor command the respect of a full NBA locker room? These are the valid concerns. This is why the draft is a gamble. But look at the evidence. Look at the ceiling. His best-case scenario isn't just an all-star. It's a franchise cornerstone. A Luka Doncic-level playmaker, but with elite defense and even more size. A player who redefines what a point guard can be in the modern NBA. His floor, even that is incredibly high. A Tyrese Halliburton-type facilitator, a system player who makes everyone around him astronomically better. This is why Brooklyn drafted him. Not for who he was on draft night, but for who he could become. They drafted toughness. They drafted silence. They drafted control. In a league of noise, they bet on a whisper. And that whisper's getting louder. Maybe, just maybe, the shock in that draft room wasn't about Brooklyn making a mistake. Maybe it was the first moment the rest of the league realized they had been outsmarted. That while they were chasing the obvious, Brooklyn was building the future. The narrative that this was a stunning reach is crumbling, because the truth is becoming undeniable. This wasn't a gamble. This was a warning. A warning signed by the Brooklyn Nets and co-signed by the desperate failed attempt of Sam Presti to stop it. So, what do you think? Was Egor Demin the steal of the draft? Or is there still a level of risk that makes you nervous? Let me know your honest take down in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed reliving this draft day shocker with me, and you want to be here when we find out if Egor becomes the superstar Brooklyn believes he can be, then you know what to do. Hit that like button, share this with a fellow NBA fan, and subscribe to stay plugged into the conversation. Until next time, folks.